I know I've sort of made it sound extremely simple there, but in a way it is. With the marketing these days of Instagram and social media and stuff like that, if you have got a skill, if you're being honest, especially if you're a student like me and you're not, this isn't a wage you need to live off, this is something that you just need to sort of pay the bills. If you set up an Instagram page for your side hustle or extra skill, set up a TikTok or whatever, and you get yourself out there, if you can get yourself up to 200-300 followers, that might be enough to completely pay your bills. Hello boys, how are we? If you're new here, I'm a psychology student trained to be a therapist. So on this channel we talk about mindset, positive attitude, mental health, self-development and that sort of thing. So if that sounds of interest, stick around. Shorter video today, but I want to talk about a subject that's pretty self-explanatory, which is upskilling yourself. The idea of training to have new skills, learning new things that you can do that can potentially take you down different earning paths, different career paths, or basically build you up as a human being. This is anything from a physical skill, sort of being a barista, or maybe something to do with construction, everything to knowing another language, or being able to code or something like that. All these different areas. The reason this came up for me is just the past weekend I was very lucky. The rugby team that I coach for sent me on the first aid course, meaning that I'm now qualified, well I hope I've passed, qualified rugby first aider, which is something that I would never even thought of doing. It was literally a 4-hour thing on my Sunday afternoon, and the reason it got me thinking is because obviously it's important to take time to relax and everything like that, and weekends are very important to socialise, spend time with your friends, family, take some time to yourself as well. But a lot of the time, do we actually spend it sitting around not doing much, Netflixing and PlayStationing and just wasting time really? And if you are someone who finds yourself doing that, especially if you're someone who's in a job that they're not looking to stay in, and you know it's not your career, it's just sort of something to pay the bills for now, taking that time when you're not at work to upskill yourself is even more important. So as I mentioned a minute ago, there are sort of various areas that you can do this in. On the physical side of things, it could be, getting a license to be an electrician or a plumber, or even maybe on a lower level than that, a forklift truck license or something like that. I know a lot of people that work in construction start off on that sort of level because they're very, very transferable skills. If you've got a forklift truck license in the UK, you might be able to transfer that to another country. You'd certainly be able to do it all over the UK. If you got it in America, you could move to different states, and it's somewhere where it's going to always be constant work. Things like trades are always needed. As I say, electricians, plumbers, plasterers, bricklayers, things like that. There's always going to be a role for guys like that in society. On the flip side of things, there's maybe more of the techie jobs, people that can do, I don't know, videography, things like that can all be done from a laptop, people that can do YouTube thumbnails or editing and things like that, people who can code and Python and all the other languages and everything like that. Obviously ICT recruitment is absolutely through the roof at the moment. There's loads of companies that do that because it's so in demand, especially over in the UK since things like Brexit. There's a massive labour shortage on that side of things, and I know a lot of people sort of don't like when people just have a list of qualifications that don't really mean anything, and I'm very much like that. I don't think you should just do things for the sake of doing things. Like there's a lot of people that maybe do they work in insurance and they do an insurance exam within insurance. You've worked in insurance for 10 years, people know you understand. You don't need to have a few extra letters next to your name. Same with university. Obviously I go to university, it was something I never wanted to or planned to do, and I don't think you need to go to university to have a successful career. I think it depends what you want to do. If you want to be a doctor, lawyer, teacher, psychologist, something that absolutely requires a degree, then yeah, of course. But if you want to work in accounting and finance or something like that, rather than doing a 5-year course or 4-year accountancy course, would you maybe be better finding a smaller accountancy qualification and getting an internship, or maybe even trying to get an internship or a grad scheme, and then that they pay for that qualification? You literally start your, but like if you've gone to university for 4 years, 5 years, how much further ahead would you be if you maybe started at the bottom of an accountancy firm? If you went to, I don't know, PwC or something like that, an absolute minimum job, the 5 years you spend there, so not only would you hopefully have a qualification, by the end of it you'd also already have 5 years at a recognised company on your CV. Look, that's slightly different to the example I was given earlier. I understand that I've gone off on a little bit of a tangent. For you guys, I'm more talking about maybe people, like I said earlier, who are currently working in jobs that they're not really a huge fan of, and they're not really, it's not what you want to do as a career, but you're struggling to move out of there because that's the only skills you have. On the flip side of things, it might be someone like me who you're studying, but you need to earn a bit of money on the side. Again, obviously I mentioned the first aid course. That's not something particular that I can earn money from, but I've got a little plan for something that I want to do over the next couple of months, which I'll talk about on this channel once. I've tried to talk about things that I've done rather than things I want to do, because, well, it's achievements, not things I want to achieve. And that's something that if I can get a qualification in that, I can actually make some money from it, and hopefully I might even be able to do it remotely from my laptop. So that's something that literally whenever I'm not in a lecture, whenever I'm not doing work, I can have an hour session of this thing that I'm hopefully learning to do. So on that side of things, if you could qualify as maybe something, you go to a mixology course, so you're a qualified bartender and you can actually make the proper cocktails and everything like that. Qualified barista. On the other side of things, could you take a long weekend and get a proper yoga qualification or something like that, or even a PT qualification? Places like Pure Gym sort of do like really good schemes where they probably will rob you blind in terms of they'll want to take half of whatever you earn or whatever, but you could be a qualified PT in 6 weeks or something like that. And that is something where, again, whenever you're not at uni or on your weekends, you've got a skill that you can take out to the market and actually earn money for. I know I've sort of made it sound extremely simple there, but in a way it is. With the marketing these days of Instagram and social media and stuff like that, if you have got a skill, if you're being honest, especially if you're a student like me and you're not, this isn't a wage you need to live off, this is something that you just need to sort of pay the bills. If you set up an Instagram page for your side hustle or extra skill, set up a TikTok or whatever, and you get yourself out there, if you can get yourself up to 200-300 followers, that might be enough to completely pay your bills. I mean, I'm sure a lot of your friends have sort of secondary accounts of, like, they might be baking or photographers or things like that. I know people that have got all sorts of little side businesses which just earn them a little bit of money. And again, if you're in my situation, or if you're in a situation where you've already got a job and you just want to sort of move into another area, that's something that's going to really sort of help you build up. Again, if you're sort of, maybe you are working part-time in a coffee shop or something like that and you want to move into something else, if you can get on LinkedIn and send out messages and say, look, at the moment I have absolutely no qualifications or skills, however I've applied to do this, or I've started doing this, or on this day I will be graduating and I will have this, would you guys consider meeting me for if I pass, and when I pass and when I've got this qualification, would that open up any opportunities? That looks a lot better than going to someone, oh, I work in a coffee shop but I don't want to do it anymore and I don't really know what to do, can you get me a job? It looks way better if you can go, look, these are the steps I've taken, because you might, if you get chatting with someone, they might be able to say, actually, look, yeah, that qualification is good, but this one's actually better, you can do this instead, and that's gonna push you more in the right direction, or this qualification is actually more what my company looks for, and we'd be more likely to hire you if you did something like that. And being proactive and pushing yourself forward is also just gonna get you more likely to put yourself out there and move into another area. Another one that's absolutely huge, especially in the UK at the moment, I'm sure in other countries, well, probably America as well, second languages or third languages. If you can speak another language, oh my word, you are so valuable, because not only can you do the jobs of whatever skill that you've got, you can do that job in 2 languages. One of the hardest jobs, when I used to work finance recruitment. One of the hardest jobs to fill was when they'd send for a job brief and go, yeah, we need someone who can do this, this, and this, got experience in this area of finance. And we go, okay, cool. Yeah, by the way, they're going to be based in the Swiss office. We need them to speak French, or we need them to speak German as well. That job application just went from 300 people to 10. That's literally what it was like, because there are so few people that can speak 2 languages. There's so few British people that bother to learn another language. The only people who normally get those jobs are someone from those countries who's moved over here. So yeah, learning a language, which is on my bucket list and has been on my New Year's resolution for about, feels like 10 years now, to learn French. I will get there. That is a really good one, and it's something that I'd highly recommend. Look, don't want to go around in circles. I feel like I've made my point. Thank you for you guys who make it all the way to the end. I do really appreciate you. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking, subscribing. Don't forget to like the video. As always, comment any other advice you have below, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, take care, lads.